So if you've ever wondered what would happen if we banned alcohol and reinstated prohibition, the answer is a whole lot of meth, apparently. So in the U.S., there are some places that ban the sales of alcohol, and these are called dry counties. They prohibit alcohol sales, and they seem to have a much bigger meth problem than other counties. Now, specifically in the state of Kentucky, some counties, which are called dry, prohibit alcohol sales completely. Others allow it only within certain municipalities, and they call that moist, which is really gross, or don't place restrictions on alcohol sales at all, and those are called wet. Now, the University of Louisville researchers found that dry counties actually had a much higher rate of meth lab busts as well as meth crime in general. Further, if all counties were to become wet, the total number of meth lab seizures in Kentucky would decline by about 25%.
Wait, what would the number be if they all became moist?
I don't know. Stop saying that word. I hate that word. But this is important because Kentucky is the number 3 in the U.S. for meth production. And so let's kind of take a look at a graph of this. So as you see on the left, the meth lab seizures, it's kind of the same for wet and moist counties, whereas it's much higher in dry counties. And then it seems for just meth-related incidences in general, it seems to increase with the drier the county is.
You drop 1 O from that, and it's just horrible. Anyway.
Oh God! Stop
it. Okay, yeah, no, we're joking, but that is very interesting data. And when you're going to explain why.
It's like mist counties. I was like,
see, I have to work with him every day, so I knew exactly where his mind went.
Yeah.
Ew.
Okay, so you're going to explain why this is.
So I'm going to explain. So the results add support to the idea that prohibiting the sale of alcohol flattens the punishment gradient, lowering the relative cost of participating in the market for illegal drugs. So basically, if both meth and alcohol are illegal, people are like, well, whatever, I'm going to get in trouble.
I'll just drink.
I'll just do, no, I'll just do meth.
Yeah,
if both of them are illegal, there's not a big difference.
Both of them are illegal, whereas if both of them are legal, then people don't need to look desperately for something.
So there's
because you can't get, it's harder to, if the county is really dry, you really got to go somewhere else
it's
to get booze.
It's probably easier to go to a pharmacy and get the things that you need to make. I don't really know
there are
that
meth
much
dealers,
that
I'm
goes
sure,
into
in
meth.
the...
There's probably more meth dealers
I watched Justified. There's plenty of meth in Kentucky.
Yeah. So they said basically the alcohol prohibition becomes a gateway to other illegal activities. But even if we kind of put aside put aside the idea of meth, records from the Kentucky State Police show that dry counties tend to have higher rates of DUI-related car crashes than wet ones as well. So that's really interesting because basically they're kind of saying that it's probably due to the fact that people have to drive further to get the alcohol. But it's interesting that in dry counties, meth increases, as does alcohol consumption and alcohol-related accidents.
There's also no reason to have a dry county. None. Zero. It is a nonsensical Victorian belief about booze, and it is, in this country at least, it's nonsense. The blue laws are nonsense. They are allowing the church to determine public policy because that's who wants it, and they don't even care anymore. I mean, they're leftover. They are leftover from a different time. This is 2015. If people want to buy a beer on any day of the week, they should be able to buy that beer.
And by the way, can you imagine? So I grew up in a moist county in Connecticut.
What does that mean?
That there are some restrictions on the sale of
not on Sunday and.
Yeah, or particular times. So
you have to go to certain stores and things like that.
Yeah, so Connecticut has the blue laws, and so you could generally buy alcohol, although you can't, like here, you can go to a supermarket and there's just hard liquor everywhere. You can go to a 7-Eleven and there's beer and stuff. I didn't grow up with that sort of environment, and on Sundays and after 8 or 9 p.m., there was just no alcohol sales.
It was the same at Duke.
Yeah, so we would drive to Massachusetts, and you can imagine for some people they will then begin drinking, and they have a long drive home, which is why you see the more DUIs. But imagine, so as you say, this is the church getting their way when it comes to regulating sin. Imagine if they found out that Dearborn, Michigan had outlawed all alcohol because because of Sharia or something like that. Fox would lose their minds. But when the Christian church does it, it's just fine, and it still is. That's the law in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's really, really silly. People should be able to buy their liquor, and that's fine. That's. I mean, and here's where we align with libertarians.